All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Beyond thrilled to be bringing you the Super Bowl. All the pomp, all the circumstance, all the pageantry. It doesn't get any better than this, partner.
I'm loving sharing this booth with you, sharing this moment, this type of a game. For all the teachers who said we
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with the man who has had to stick with me all season long, Charles Davis. And, Charles, the anticipation, the hype, the media coverage, all in the rear-view mirror now. We can finally get down to playing some football.
Yeah, don't worry about that, partner. I'll ride or die with you anytime. You know that. But here's the best thing about this. Everyone talks about trying to keep things normal as they approach the Super Bowl. There is no such thing as normal. The pageantry, the hype, all of that is more intense than anyone could ever imagine. What you're trying to do is embrace it in one way and make sure it doesn't totally knock you off your game. That's why the night before the big one, teams often switch hotels, try and give those guys that last chance to breathe a little bit before they go out and play.
On 1st and 10, Murray. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw again, Murray. Being chased out left. Now he's going to let it go deep left. He's got him in. Complete. Johnson jostles free. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A big play that time for Cleveland. 77 yards. A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's 1st and goal. from the gun. Murray. Murray fighting. Lost the football. Does the big boy have the juice? He's at the 50. He's at the 40. Past the 20. 10. 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Striking first in any game is very important, but on this stage, the biggest of stages in the Super Bowl, that's huge.
You fully expect the other team to battle all the way through, but when you're the one setting the pace, jumping out in front, that has to feel great for the entire organization.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Now a play fake here on first down. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
Operating from the gun, Murray. Throw right side to Perriman, and it's caught. Brings it just past the 15, able to avoid the initial contact, but not much more there on the play.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Escaping the pressure right. And complete to Lewis over the middle. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Lewis has the first down and then some. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there. 51 yards. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And we are tied at 7. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And they'll run it here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll look to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Vic Beasley. In there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. He was a 1,000-yard receiver during the regular season, and that's his first catch of this Super Bowl, and he picks up the first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Throwing on 1st down. Murray. Looking for Perriman there. He's got him. And now running right through it. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray. Caught right side. It's Lewis. His 2nd catch of the Super Bowl, and it's good enough for a 1st down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. Nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
He's going to look deep for Perriman. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, not that we had any questions, but it's obvious his arm does not hurt today, does it? He does not mind slinging it around.
He is firing that pigskin around the yard.
Yeah, putting it deep downfield, taking shots. Unsuccessful there, but I like his moxie.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Murray. Flush to his right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Von Miller with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Taking it about the 16. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And now the Browns are going to take another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. He'll look to throw. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. He's going to float this over the middle deep, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. This is taken at about the 14. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
He's got this one complete to Perriman. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, Murray completing it to the right side, Johnson. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Operating from the gun. Murray got his man complete over the middle. It's Lewis. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. The 6-yard line. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there. To throw on 2nd down, Murray. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6. Gonzalez now to add the extra point. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And that makes the score 14-7. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Myles Garrett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems, and this qualifies as a big problem.
And the Browns getting set to go. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
No, check, Patriot, Patriot!
Now they'll run with Lewis. Oh, and Lewis lost the football. But I think a Brown was able to recover, and they'll indeed hold on to the ball here.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between second and...
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, that allows your blitzers to get there.
They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
Detroit!
They're going to try and throw. That is caught. It's Perriman. And here a juke. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there. But they do convert on 4th. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this, or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Now a toss play to Lewis. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it, Brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Looking to throw on second down. Murray under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Tech McKinley in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
Detroit! Gone! Hot!
Throwing on third and long. Murray forced out to his left. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
Man, there's a lot to think about when you're playing quarterback, isn't there? I mean, this is third and long. So your chances of completing a pass for a first down are slim to begin with. And then when you put it into some traffic, you're really wreaking havoc with your options, aren't you? Maybe you just got to heave it into the, throw it up in the stands and make sure no one can catch it.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And they'll go ground game here to the tailback. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back on Super Bowl Sunday after this.
Flex round! Let's go!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be third down. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides. They're going to look to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. A little tough on the secondary there. In zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. Send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive. And he's
looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. I think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick six really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Throwing after the interception. Murray. Now he'll let it go deep right side. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Browns were able to strike quickly for 6. And he'll bang that one through. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. Off the toss, Lewis. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal.
Watch it now, Barney! Over!
Now Lewis. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. A great effort there. His second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And that will make this a 19-point game. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Ohio!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no
yardage. Okay.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. On play action, they'll throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Flex round!
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Flex round!
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Now he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
He's going to look deep for, and that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Rashad Perriman, 67 yards. And the Browns add on to their lead. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And that will bump the lead up to 26. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he takes it all the way down to the 32. A big play there on the catch and run. 43 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Back to throw now on 1st down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
His throw caught at about the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you at important times because he can trust you being in the right spot.
Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Vic Beasley in there for a milestone sack as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132 and a half. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. He'll get it up the middle. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
I didn't have to stretch for this one. This is 4-down territory. They've got to get it in with the deficit.
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Falcons cut into that lead.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will get him one closer. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They'll start off with a give to Lewis. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Again, it's Lewis. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They run. This is Lewis. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
To throw on 2nd down. Murray. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
All right, now, lucky 56.
Off play action. Murray. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
And here now come the Falcons. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Jayon Brown in there to to get him for his second sack of the night.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Flex round! Flex round!
Looking to throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up fourth down. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Fielded at the 20. 34 yards on the return. But for a moment, looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. And an alley to run. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now this time he'll look to throw, and that'll be incomplete. He was looking for Brashad Perriman, and it's 3rd and short.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. From the gun, Murray, eluding the pressure right. He rifles one that's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Vic Beasley bringing the pressure again, and that is his 3rd sack here tonight. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Hut! Hut!
They'll set up to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be a 3rd and about 13. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down.
Ohio! Ohio!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Back to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Back to throw here. And that is incomplete. Jabril Peppers, a former 1st-round pick there on the coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight, He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. David Njoku, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. And his kick is good. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Ohio! Ohio!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's got this down to the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves his sticks.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
He'll look to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the 1st. They'll run it now out of the gun. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this Browns defense stands tall. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in.
Accelerating, and off he goes. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And the Browns are pouring it on. It's caught inside the 10. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. So out come the Falcons now. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down, it caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you.
And that's caught inside the 35. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Looking for the end zone. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Myles Garrett in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
How about that, partner? His 2nd sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. And he showed some fancy footwork on the juke, but then quickly taken down. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this Browns defense stands tall. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it?
And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. Be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Come on, let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. And how about this? The dog pound gets the crown. The Cleveland Browns are the Super Bowl champs. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.
Oh.